Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode number 47 of Coffee Time with Byron. I'm your host, Byron. Alongside me via Zoom is current MLBer, Travis Lakins. Thank you for joining me tonight. And kind of a little bit nervous, just to let you all know. First active player, but hey, I'm going to nail this. How are you tonight? And how's everything going with you?
Everything going good. Went and had dinner with the family. Just hanging out, rehabbing. Can't really do much right now because of rehab, so just waiting to get cleared to start lifting weights again and start being able to do some physical activity.
Now, for any of us who did not know what happened to you, what was it? Because I've seen a lot of injuries this year, and what exactly happened? Was it, are you under Tommy John like most pitchers, or what currently happened to you that put you on a DL?
So I actually had a stress fracture in my elbow. This is actually my third time having the same injury. This one was just more significant. Ended up putting a screw in my elbow to heal the bone, so that put me out for the year. Mm-hmm. And I'll be ready to go for spring training.
So, you got it with the Orioles. You said you were doing good, and then that happens. I mean, does that honestly have to suck as a pitcher? You said you were doing good throughout till the injury. How does that take us through your mindset as a pitcher getting hurt when you said yourself that you were doing good as a pitcher to start off the year?
It's just you have to come to a realization it's just part of the game. Injuries are going to happen, and you just hope they're not significant. And that's the only thing. I felt like I was getting back on track. I started off the year really well, struggled through the middle of the year, and then was starting to find my place back again. And then I was getting ready to become, I don't know if I was going to become a starter, but was making a spot start against Houston. Felt great going into the start, and I threw one pitch, and my elbow went, and I just, it's all over the place. Your mind goes in so many different directions when you have an injury. Obviously, I thought the worst case scenario of Tommy John. Obviously, it was the best case scenario at that time. So you got to roll with the punches in this game. In any sport you play, you have to do that. So,
right.
It's the dude upstairs has got a plan for you, and you just got to follow his plan. And whether that's you getting injured in any certain way, it is what it is.
Now, like you said, you didn't know if you were going to be a starter or not. What is your preference as a pitcher, or do you care where you are, bullpen, starter? What is your preference as a pitcher?
I really don't have a preference. I don't have one at all. I've made 3 big league starts when I was in the big leagues with Boston in 2019 as an opener. Really enjoyed it, but I also really enjoyed coming out of the pen. That's like the first day I got with the Orioles. Brandon Hyde asked me, he goes, "What do you want to do?" I was like, "I just want to be in the big leagues." I said, "Whatever spot you need me to fill, I'll fill." So I'm open with whatever. I go with the flow, and I just make sure I'm going to be the best that I can be that day that I'm pitching.
Now, what exactly, for those that don't know, what is the difference between starter to actual opener? Is it the same mindset as a pitcher from a regular starter? Take us through, for people who don't know, what an opener exactly is.
So for me, in all the minor leagues, I was a starter. So for me, when Boston was like, "Hey, you're going to start," not knowing that was going to be my role, is every 5th day I was going to be an opener, I just kind of went into the mindset of, okay, I'm going to do what I did in the minor leagues as a starter. I'm going to go through my same routine. I'm going to go through my same throwing progression. And that's how I did. But there's other teams that do it completely different. Like Tampa Bay Rays, for example. They have multiple guys open every other day, every 3 days, or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And I think when you're at that point, you just go through your normal reliever routine. You don't know if you're going to start. You don't know what it's going to be. But you go through your regular reliever routine, and then you just, I mean, if you're like a long relief guy and you go 2 innings, then prepare yourself to throw 2 innings, like you usually do on the pin.
Right.
For me, I didn't really know going into the opener role whether I was going to throw 3 innings or 2 innings or 4 innings or whatever it was. So I prepared myself like I did in the minor leagues as a starter.
Yeah, and that's what like you said, that's what you got to go through because you don't know with an opener. Because, like you said, the Tampa Bay Rays, which we all know, they were the ones who really started it.
Yep.
And it varies with them. Sometimes they'll go 1, sometimes they'll go 2, and then who knows. It's just, I'm kind of I don't know about you, but I grew up in the early 90s. When starters were still a big thing.
Oh yeah.
I know you've been through it because you said you pitched as an opener. Do you like that idea of openers compared to actual pitchers who start?
My personal opinion, no. If you're a starter, you start the game. Your job is to go 5 innings, 6 innings, and listen. Pitching in the big leagues is the hardest thing to do, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You're going up. There's so much technology. There's so much film. There's so much everything for the hitters aspect of the game that 7 times out of 10 they know what you're throwing.
Mm-hmm.
There's people that don't. They know what you're throwing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why the starting position, the starting pitching position is, in my opinion, besides catching, obviously, catch is the hardest position in baseball. But starting pitching is brutal. To go out every 5 days, 30 times a year, and go 5-6 innings, it wears you out. And I like opening. I like the idea. If you don't have a 5th starter, then fine. Go with your. If you got 5 starters, I like going with that routine. It gets other guys in routines, and it gets whatever it is. It gets guys just adaptable to that situation.
Now, how come we don't see no more of the guys going a complete game or going a full 9 innings, getting shutouts, even though they're pitching, say if they got a no-hitter or whatnot, and they're pitching shutouts, why do we not see no more complete games like what there used to be before? That's the whole main point of a starter. Like, the old school guys are pretty much gone now. Like, the only ones left, I think, in the game are Scherzer, Verlander, Wainwright, and a couple of yeah. So why do you think we don't see that no more in the game?
I think the game is evolving in a different way. I think everybody's bringing up these young arms, and they want to put an innings limit on them and a pitch count on them. And I grew up being a Cardinals fan my whole entire life. So I grew up watching Chris Carpenter with the Cardinals, Adam Wainwright, and all those guys throw. So I was used to them guys going 7, 8, 9 innings a game. It doesn't matter if they were giving up 6 runs or not; they were going that long.
Right.
You know.
Right.
I think we're just in a different game. I think we're in a different era, and as we're getting ready to see, is like in 4 or 5 years, we're not going to see Max Scherzer. Right. We're not going to see Wainwright and Kershaw and Verlander and Cole. We're not going to see any of those guys anymore, you know?
Right.
So I think we're just evolving in a different time era.
Now, I hate to bring this up, but you had some time up with the Red Sox, obviously, in 19 when you made your debut. This was when the whole cheating scandal went about. Were you aware of what was going on with the Red Sox and the Astros cheating scandal, or do you still think that goes on in the game? They just happen to get caught, those 2 teams.
I wasn't aware of any of it because when all that stuff was going on, I was still in the minor leagues. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I debuted, but I was up and down so much. Mm-hmm. I think I was up and down like 13 times in 2019. Mm-hmm. It was like I would go up for 2 days, 3 days, and I'd get sent back down. And I'd have to do my 15 days and then get sent back up. So I really wasn't aware of it. I'm not really sure if teams cheat or not. I don't know. I just listen. I go out there. The only thing I'm worried about is one, our team winning, and two is when my name's called, I go out and do my job.
There you go.
And that's it. If they cheat, so be it. If not, so be it. It's just.
What about this new thing though that everybody's talking about that went away? It's pretty much away now, but you don't hear about it no more. The whole sticky stuff. What exactly is that, and does that actually performance enhance like they say it does?
I don't think it does. I mean, I'm not saying that anybody did it in the old days, but I couldn't imagine what went on in the old days with the steroid era. You know, guys were trying to beat those guys all the time on the mound. I think it's been going on forever. Like as long as the game's been going on.
What is it? What is it? Is it like a sticky substance that you put on the ball, or what exactly is it?
I mean, I think there's different kinds of things. You can chew a piece of bubble gum and get sticky from a piece of bubble gum. There's so much different things that are in the game. Like if you're going to take it away from the pitchers, you take it away from the hitters too. Then
that's true. Yeah, you're right.
You don't let them wear batting gloves.
Right. There you go. That's true.
But that's my opinion on it. There's so much stuff that goes on, like besides what if any pitchers were doing. I'm sure there's guys up there with extra pine tar on their bat.
Yeah, very true. Yeah.
That are too high up on the handle, close to the barrel. I don't know. I think it's been going on for a very, very, very long time.
Now you're obviously in the AL, and the NL does allow the pitcher. I know you're mostly a relief pitcher, but you have started a little bit. Would you like to try and get up to the plate and relive your high school days, little league days, and hit?
My dream was to be in the big leagues and pitch in the big leagues. Mm-hmm. My next dream is to hit. Mm-hmm. I hit in high school. I hit all the way through high school. I know it's been 10 years now, but I would love to hit. Love to.
I bet you would love to hit. I bet you would love to hit in some of those ballparks. Some of those ballparks are easy to hit. That's why they call them.
I got two ballparks: the Rockies Field and the Reds Field.
There you go. Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah, and maybe Tropicana too. Tropicana's pretty easy.
Yeah. So I gotta get it down the line though. I gotta hit it right down the line.
That's true. Yeah, very much so. Yeah, but yeah, I don't get it because you hear some pitchers that just don't want to hit. I don't know why that is. I know, it's just funny because you grow up. Yeah, you're mainly a pitcher, but you also grow up as a hitter as well. And when you're growing up, why wouldn't you want to hit, especially if one league allows you to?
I think guys like pitchers know 9 times out of 10 they're not getting hits because obviously whoever they're going against is still elite. Mm-hmm. And I think their main focus is getting people out on the mound.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I didn't think of it as that. Yeah,
so I think it's just, oh well, if I get a hit, I get a hit. If not, not. So I think it's just more of their mindset's not in the hitting aspect of it. Besides Jacob deGrom and Baumgartner.
Now, what do you think about Ohtani? Will we see more of him hitting two ways, hitting in?
I don't think we'll ever see a player like him again.
Ever again? Not even Brendan McKay of the Rays, who can also do both?
No. We're talking about a guy he's coming up every 5th day. He's going 6 innings. He's giving up maybe 2 runs, and he's striking out 10. Not only is he doing that, but he's hitting second.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he's hitting homers. He's second in the league in homers. I don't think we'll ever see it again. I don't think the game has ever actually seen this type of player.
No, I honestly can't recall either. But
obviously I didn't get to see Babe Ruth do it, and he was a 2-way guy.
Right.
I'm talking
current. Yeah.
I don't know if we've seen a player in the last 60 years do this.
Now, obviously, I know you're injured, and I know we just had the Olympics. If you would have gotten a call to pitch in the Olympics, how would that have made you feel to get that call and to make the Olympic team? if you would have been healthy enough.
It would have been an honor. I mean, that's a totally separate. That's a bigger goal than pitching in the big leagues. You know, representing your country and yeah, I've never been asked that question before, and it's kind of got me off guard. I would be more than welcome to represent this country and play for this. I mean, America's pastime. It would have been a blessing, a big blessing for me.
That's awesome to hear. I hope honestly they keep it as a sport. I know a couple countries coming up. I guess from what I heard, it depends on the country where the Olympics is if they'll have it. Like I know France may not have it, but the next one I think is I forget where they said. Oh, LA, which is here in the United States. So I'm pretty sure we'll have it. Yeah, but yeah, I'm sure you had to watch some of it. What do you think? I asked this to a couple others I had on. Do you think we'll see MLB ever allow their top guys to play in it and stop the season like what Japan allowed their team to do and have all-stars, and they stopped the whole league for them to play in the Olympics?
Right. I don't think so. I don't think they'll stop mid-season. Especially when they had it in June, right?
Yeah.
You're talking about a critical spot in the MLB. You're getting ready for the trade deadline. You're getting ready for all that. I don't think it'll ever happen. Nor do I think it should.
Yeah. It's kind of iffy on me. I mean, I think they should, but then, like you said, I don't know if they will because, like you said, the money factor.
If you do have it, I would have it at the beginning of the year before big leagues start.
Like the World Baseball Classic? Yeah, I didn't think it was that. Because they've done that before.
Yep, I would have it at the end of spring training.
I didn't think of that. That's much easier. Yeah, just do like the World Baseball Classic, and they have.
It'll be a warm up.
Yeah, they have those like every 4 or 5 years.
Yep, I would do it right before spring training or right before the season starts.
Yeah, exactly. So now I want to get into a little bit of your call up. Where were you, and where exactly were you when you first got the call that you were coming up, and who told you?
So we just got done with batting practice in AAA in Pawtucket.
Mm-hmm.
And my manager, we just got in, and my manager, Billy, what was his last name? We just call him Coach Mack. Billy Mack, yeah. Played in the big leagues for 10 years, played with the Mariners. But he kind of just brought me over and was like, hey, you're going to the big leagues. And I was like, stop messing with me. And he was like, no, you're going to the big leagues. You need to get to Boston out. Because they had a doubleheader. They had a 1 o'clock and a 7 o'clock doubleheader. This was like 5:15.
Right.
So I was with my wife. Well, my wife was at the hotel with our dog, getting ready to come to the Pawtucket Park to watch us play. And I had to call. I was like, hey, I need you to pack a suitcase, bring our dog. And I said, I need you to come get me. She was like, what for? I was like, I'm going to the big leagues. And she was like, no way.
There you go.
But she packed up. 15 minutes later, she was at the field, and it was about an hour car ride, and I don't think we said 15 words to each other.
Wow. So you guys, what was it? Why do you think that was? Was it because you guys were in shock still that you got called up, or what?
I think so. I mean, we always knew we knew it was coming.
Mm-hmm.
It's just in that moment you never really realize it's there. You know, and we were on the car ride. She dropped me off the field. I was like, love you, bye. And then I come in the 5th inning. First and third, no outs. Or 1 out. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Do you remember who was your first hitter?
Jose Candelario.
Oh, so you were playing Tigers. Playing the Tigers? Oh, boy.
Yep. Struck him out on 4 pitches. And then Nick Castellanos was my next hitter. And he grounded back out. He grounded to me, and I threw him out at first and got out of the jam. Yeah, it was nuts.
Did you have butterflies, or were you just took it as another game?
I don't really remember doing anything until I threw my first pitch. I remember the warm-ups. I don't remember getting loose in the bullpen. I don't remember none of it. Then they came to realize I threw my first pitch, strike one, whatever, struck him out, got Castellanos out. Go back, we hit, and I come back out, and my first batter is Miguel Cabrera.
The future Hall of Famer. Woo!
All right. And then I went 3-0 to him, and I'm like, here's my first homer. And ended up he swings 3-0, popped up to second base. So I was like, all right.
What was it like pitching against the future Hall of Famer?
And it was.
I mean, literally, you saw him growing up.
Yeah, I seen him growing up, and I wanted to walk up to the batter's box and be like, "Hey, can I have your autograph?" It was one of those things. So it was just, it was a wild experience.
Oh man, that's crazy. That's crazy. It's just. What about pitching in front of Fenway fans? I know Boston is chaotic with their fans, but they're a diehard fan base. What's it like pitching in front of them? Are they hectic if you do something wrong? What?
Oh yeah. It's Boston. Boston lives and dies by their sports.
Will they let you hear it if you do?
Oh yeah. They let me hear it. I blew a save against Cleveland, and I got my wife and my little daughter heard about it. It was crazy. And then in September, my first big league start was Boston and New York. That same way. So it was pretty electric.
Obviously, I mean, you watched that just like I did growing up, that rivalry. I mean, but you got to live it. I didn't. Obviously I just watched it. I couldn't be an athlete, but you got to live it, and you still are, even though you're with the Orioles now, but you still lived it. What's it like being full front in that rivalry?
Man, it was unbelievable. First bat, I went 6 up, 6 down. I pitched 2 innings. I went 6 up, 6 down with 3 strikeouts. And it was like, I walked off the mound after the second inning, and I was like, I want to go back off for the third. I was like, let's go. I was like, I'm ready. It was an awesome experience, man. It was, I mean, they went LeMahieu, Judge.
Yep.
That's when they had Didi Gregorius back in third, and then it was Encarnacion, Stanton, and Sanchez. Yep. And I was like, oh my God. And Torres, and I'm like, oh God. I was like, this is either really good or really bad.
Now, let me ask you about that, because you pitched obviously against an all-star lineup like them, and then you pitched against the Rays, who have really not much talent at all, but they're you get what I'm trying to say, big talent the Yankees. And then also the Blue Jays, which you pitched against, not the younger guys, the second-gen stars, weren't called up just yet. What is it like pitching against those guys compared to the massive New York All-Star lineup? Is there a different mindset? Like you feel?
My personal opinion is I've struggled more against, not saying that they're no names, but like the Rays. I've struggled more against those guys than I have against the Stantons, the Judge, the J.D. Martinez, the LeMahieu's, Devers, all those guys. Because, and I don't know this, but the Rays guys there's not a lot of guys that are paid there. So they're still fighting every single day for a job.
Oh yeah.
And with Stanton and Judge and LeMahieu and Torres and Sanchez and all those guys on the Yankees, it's just like, it's another day for them. They know they're not getting sent down, or they know they're not getting paid.
Right.
So it's just, man, the Rays have given me the most difficult pitch, because I pitched with Boston in the AL East, obviously.
Right.
And then I pitched with the Orioles in the AL East, so I've got to face both sides of everything. I got to face the Orioles.
Right.
But growing up, when I was in the minor leagues, the Orioles destroyed me in the minor leagues.
Really?
Destroyed me. Every outing I had against Baltimore in the minor leagues, I got crushed.
Wow.
And then I got to the big leagues, and I did really well against them.
But why can't... Okay, that's weird. That's funny that you say that, because the Orioles don't really have a minor league system, like they don't really have any. If they're holding these players,
when I was coming up, it was Austin Hayes,
right.
Cedric Mullins,
right.
Mountcastle. There were some guys there that I had to pitch against.
Well, yeah, those guys are decent now. Yeah, those guys are going to be all-stars now, but I don't get why they didn't call them up sooner. Like they obviously need to help. I know pitching isn't the strong suit,
right?
Obviously, but yeah, they did. I don't get why they didn't do the call up sooner. I mean, these guys are waiting in the waits. Just call them up sooner. I mean, what were you taking for? Seriously.
They got a process that they want to do, and we all follow by it.
Do you feel that? Do you feel the same way now? I mean, you're obviously witnessing another horrendous, unfortunate season. I mean, what? This is going to be what? They're going to be on track to lose over 115 games, possibly?
I don't think it's quite that much, but it's just
it's brutal.
It's all part of, I know it. I know from the outside.
It's got to be brutal on you. It's got to be brutal on you.
It is, but it's not at the same time. You know, it's not like we're not out there trying to compete. We all are trying to compete, and we're doing what we can do. Every single player is doing the best that they can do every single day. Whoever's on the mound, whoever's hitting, whoever's catching first, second, everywhere around. So we do what we can do on the field. And I know from playing with those guys that they're giving it their all.
Right, and that's totally understandable, and you guys should. But there's got to be a part of you guys in the locker room that's got to say, "Come on, management, at least help us get better players or something to help us than what we've got." I know we're trying our best out there, but what are you tanking for? I mean, I know the division's tough. You got 4 teams now, literally 4 teams with 90-plus wins, going to be. But help us. If you want to ultimately win, which I know that's got to be for any other team, right? You know, I mean, you want to win. You want to win a World Series. Why not get the help? I don't get it.
That's just out of our control. You know, we only control what we can control. And that's it. We go out there and play every single day the best that we can play, and whatever happens, happens.
Now, how'd you enjoy pitching? Since I live here in Florida, how'd you enjoy pitching in the Trop, or did you not experience that yet?
I've pitched in the Trop quite a bit. I was actually, with Tampa Bay being a playoff team, like, they just don't get the fan base.
No.
And it was surprising to me. Like, I remember I made a start when I was in Boston in 2019, and they were winning the division, and it was like September 20th. And there's like 5,000 fans there. And I'm like, this is wild, you know? So, I'm not a fan of the Trop. I don't know what it is about it, and it could be the fan base. If they pack that place out, it might be a completely different stadium, you know? But I'm not a fan of it.
Now what about
it feels almost spring training like.
It does. Is that how Camden Yards feels sort of?
No, because it's outside. We're in a big city, like the field is outlooking a city. And it feels like baseball there. And it's in a historical park. Like, Camden Yards is top 3 of my favorite park to play in.
But do fans still come out more than what they do for the Rays? Because I know Rays attendance is anywhere between 5,000, like you said, to 10,000. That's it. What is it?
It can be the max. So, like, the Royals is like the low is 10,000. And the higher end's 20. Depends on what night. If it's Friday night and the Yankees or Boston's in town, we're going to have 20,000 fans.
That's basically what it is like here when the Yankees or Red Sox come into town.
Yeah. But our low night, it doesn't matter. Like, if the A's come to town and it's a Wednesday night, we're going to have like 12,000, 13,000 fans. So it doesn't feel like that.
So which would you say was your worst ballpark then you pitched in while you were up in the majors?
Tropicana.
Just because of that, the fans and all
Just
that.
because of that. I just didn't feel like if somebody gets a hit on me, like I didn't feel the fans like getting after it. You know what I mean? Houston was when I pitched in Houston in 2019, it was unbelievable. I'm talking there's 45,000 fans, and I'm giving up a base hit, and the mound is shaking.
Yeah,
Same with Fenway.
yeah.
Like if I punch out the side at Fenway, the mound was shaking, so I'm walking off. You know, so it's just a completely different atmosphere.
Now, were you a part of that playoff run in 2019, or were you in the minors at the time when the Red Sox went to the playoffs?
That was 2018.
Oh yeah, that's right. They didn't make They didn't make it in 19. My bad.
Yeah.
That was their down year.
I was not part of it. I got called up to AAA midway through July. I wasn't on the 40-man at that time. I was hoping to get added in September, but it didn't happen. But no, I was not part of it.
I'm sure the atmosphere, just like you said, if you were when you pitched, and
I couldn't imagine.
You couldn't imagine, right? All of them packed, even before the Corona thing hit. Well, speaking of, I know you obviously don't get to pitch right now, unfortunately, because you're rehabbing. But I know you gotta miss that atmosphere of the fans.
Oh,
especially last year when you couldn't really have any.
I'm missing every day of it. Every single day of it, I am.
What was that like? What was that like pitching in an empty stadium?
It was different for about the first 2 weeks. You had to get used to it, and then you just had to have the switch in your mind. You had to be like, listen, I know it's not normal circumstances, but this is still a big league game. It still goes on your stats. It's like you just had to switch your mind off.
Now take us through a normal day last year as a ball player yourself. What I know it was weird. What was the process? Leaving going to the stadium, leaving the stadium, being at the stadium. What was that process like, and what did you have to do in the COVID?
We were going in every single day into a trailer, getting tested every day. Going into the clubhouse, putting mask on, having your mask on at your locker room. You had to have your mask on working out. It was just, man, it was like something I don't want to go through ever again.
I don't either.
You know, it was just, and then you had to get ready for a game. You know, it was tough. It was tough going and playing and getting yourself ready for a game in those circumstances. I had to wear one in the bullpen, in the dugout, you know, it was just tough. It didn't seem like baseball.
Now, how weird was it that they implemented fan noise and what was it, music for you guys? What was that like? How weird was that?
It was just different. You know, each stadium would be louder than the other. It was very odd. Some stadiums would be rocking the fan noise, and some stadiums wouldn't. They have it on low or something like that. So it was just weird. I wish they wouldn't have had nothing at all, to be honest.
Yeah, that would have made it better. But I guess apparently, I don't know. I've heard from other former players that are broadcasters that I've had that were witnessed a part of that, and they were like, yeah, it felt weird doing that, but it got some players motivated to play. I don't know how, but I guess just the thing of if they wanted an everyday thing like before the pandemic. I don't know, but yeah, it just seemed weird that it was implemented, that all that was implemented, but I don't know if I could have played like that. It just had to be tough for you guys.
It was very tough. Everybody gets ready to start in different ways. Everybody prepares himself in different ways, and there was some accessibility that we could do that, and there was some that wasn't.
Now, take us through the mindset of options, call-ups, because I know I play the show. That's the only way I ever play professionally is the show. I play season. there's three options: up, call up and down, and then you get released or you get claimed or whatever on waivers. Is that how it is usually for you guys, or how does that work?
So there's three options, and you can only burn one option a year.
Mm-hmm.
So once you burn that option, you can get sent up and down as many times as you want throughout that whole year, and then you'll lose an option when the next year comes. Same thing happens, and then you'll lose an option, and then you'll have the third year. Then after that third year, you don't have any more options, so you have to be in the big leagues.
So how did that work for you? Were you close to that, or?
So next year will be I'll have one more option next year. So I burned two options. Now I have one more.
Okay.
And then once those are up, if you don't make the big league team, or they want to send you down, they have to DFA you. And then you get claimed off of waivers. If you get DFA'd twice in one season, and then you can ask for your release and you become a free agent.
Now, like we were talking about earlier with how tough the AL East is, what's it like pitching against, because I think these guys were just being called up when you got your call up, the second generation kids, Vlad Guerrero, Bichette, and Biggio. I believe they were just called up when you got called up.
Yep.
What's it like pitching against those second gen kids, and do you think they'll be better than their dads?
So I actually got to pitch against them all through minor leagues, starting in AA. They were with New Hampshire when I was with Portland, and then when I was with Pawtucket, they were with Buffalo. So I actually got to pitch against them all, actually. And then obviously got the opportunity to pitch against them in the big leagues and stuff like that. But man, they're great ball players. They're great ball players. I wasn't around I was young when Biggio's dad and Guerrero, and I played with them on the show. So it tells you they're pretty dang good. I mean, they're all Hall of Famers, you know.
Yeah, right. I know.
And Vlad is a different. Vlad Jr. is a different man.
You see what he did in the All-Star game?
It's crazy to think that somebody's got a chance to win the Triple Crown, but he's not going to win the MVP.
No, I know he's not. I think,
which is rightfully so. I mean, Ohtani's got it
by far, yes.
There's no question. You got a dude that's got a 3 ERA as a starter, and you got a guy that's got 45 homers and 100 RBIs. You can't beat it.
Now, a lot of talk is that Rosarena's going to get Rookie of the Year, possibly. Do you see anybody beating him out?
Yeah, 2 guys.
Who do you see beating him out?
Mountcastle and Adolis Garcia.
I could probably see Garcia, because that's a big fan base in Texas. I could see that.
Man, people are sleeping on Mountcastle. People are sleeping on Ryan.
They are. I agree on that.
He's hitting 267. He's got 80 RBIs. He's got 29 homers. He's tied for the lead in homers as a rookie.
Right.
He might lead the rookies in RBIs.
I think he does. I think
he's pretty close to having the average. Right? I mean, he's right there.
He is right there, yeah.
It's hard for me to put my money elsewhere other than Mountcastle. I know Rosarena's coming off a big playoff, and I think that's why all the hype is on Randy. Just don't get me wrong, Rosarena is a heck of a ball player. He is great. He's going to be great. But I'm talking a statistical season. Mountcastle's having a great year.
He is. Now,
I would like to see all 3 of their numbers after the All-Star break.
Now, what about for yourself as a pitcher? I know you like this. Who do you see as Cy Young?
Walker Buehler for the NL. Or Corbin Burns for the Brewers.
And what about AL? I know, that's a tough one, because there's been a lot of good pitchers. Who?
Lance Lynn.
Okay, I didn't think of him. Yeah, he's a sleeper. That's right. He's had a good year with the White Sox.
He's having a heck of... I think he might have the lowest ERA in baseball.
I think so. I think you're right. Because I totally forgot about him. I forgot that he went to the White Sox.
Carlos Rodon is having a heck of a year, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of anybody else. I don't see anybody in the AL East. Garrett Cole could have a chance.
He could, but I don't see it.
He strikes so many out. He strikes so many people out.
Yeah, I don't see
Another guy from the NL is Zach Wheeler.
Oh, the Mets. No, Phillies. He's now the Phillies, yeah.
He's having a good year. Man, I'm trying to think. AL, Lance Lynn is the first person that pops into my mind, and I don't know why.
He's had a good year. He's a sleeper. He's a sleeper. I would have never thought him. That's a good pick.
Trying to think here. Ohtani obviously is up there.
Maybe Ohtani would win it because he's in more of a.
His pitching numbers are great. Don't get me wrong, but they're not. I don't think they're Cy Young numbers.
Right. But more likely because of the market, I think he'll win over Lynn.
I don't even know who the favorite is. Robbie Ray?
Maybe, but I couldn't see him winning it either. Toronto? I don't see that.
If they make the playoffs, he has a chance. I don't even know who's the ERA leader.
That's a good question.
Scherzer could win it.
Scherzer, yeah, by far. He's always in the run for it every year.
Robbie Ray's 5th in ERA.
Well, there you go. Baseball. There you go. Yeah, especially if the Blue Jays make the playoffs. They haven't made the playoffs in a while, so.
Does Lance Lynn must not have the amount of innings? Kevin Gausman?
That's good.
He's on the best winningest team in baseball right now.
That's a shocker team. Who would have thought that? The San Francisco Giants?
Never thought that.
I would have never thought that after, what, a couple years, years?
Almost.
Yeah. Like, these older guys have, a newer rebuild in themselves now. That's crazy. Yeah. And against my Padres, too, nonetheless. I mean, all the hype was on the Padres, and look what's happening to them. They're getting their butts whooped this year.
I'm a Cardinals fan, so I hope no offense this weekend, but I hope the Cardinals beat up on the Padres.
None taken. You got your pick, I got mine. You know, that's the beauty of having a team. So,
I don't know who's going to win the Cy Young. I don't know.
Now, since you
looking at Scherzer's numbers, Scherzer's 14-4 with a 2-1.
That's tough to beat.
I don't know if you're going to beat it. And his teammate Bueller is he's got a 2-4 or 2-3. Let's see. Yeah, he's got a 2.39, and he is 14-3.
That's even tougher to beat. So who do you pick?
And then Corbin Burns is 10-4 with a 2.25.
Well, okay, maybe Corbin because he's had to dominate. Every time you see him dominating somebody, I believe he started the season with no walks.
152 innings and 210 strikeouts.
Yeah, he was the first pitcher to start the season with 40 strikeouts and no walks.
And he ended up having 58 strikeouts and then finally recorded his first walk.
Yeah
that's very impressive.
Yeah, and then not to mention his no-hitter that he had this year.
Yeah, he had 8 innings and no hitters, and then Hader came in and finished the 9th.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's hard. And then, AL, that's a tough one. But you as a reliever, though, don't you wish they had one for a reliever? A reliever of the year award? Come on, that sucks.
I do. That would be awesome. I know, but we don't get valued as much as the starters do.
No, I know, and that's crazy. I mean, relievers is what keeps the game going if a starter can't go. I mean, how can you guys not be considered important?
I know.
But yet they can come up with one for the closer. They come up with that every year.
It is what it
is. So, your time up so far, who would you say gave you the most fits? And who did you dominate while you were up in the majors?
Who gave me the most fits? the most fits, I would say, is DJ LeMahieu.
Okay.
In my eyes, DJ LeMahieu, over the past 5 years, has been the best hitter in baseball.
Oh, yeah, by far. His stats prove it. Between
average, like,
Colorado
he only played in Colorado for 3. I don't care what he did in Colorado.
Right.
He hit. It wasn't like he was hitting 35, 40 homers in Colorado. He was hitting 330.
Mm-hmm.
He was hitting for average. Yeah, he hit 25 homers, but he was hitting 330 with those 25 homers.
Right.
And then the person I dominate, I don't know if it's because it's the team I dominate the most, but there's a couple in mind. And one's going to shock you, and you can go look at the numbers behind this.
Shock me.
Guerrero.
Oh, really?
Even in minor leagues.
I'll have to look at the numbers.
Even in the minor leagues. Don't quote me on this, but I don't think he's ever gotten a hit against me. Really? Ever.
In the minors or big leagues?
Yep. Don't quote me on that. But I'm pretty sure. If it is, it's only one.
That's a shocker, considering.
I think Bichette's the same as well.
Ooh. I bet. Oh man, that's crazy.
If I had, yeah, and then Aaron Judge.
You dominated Judge?
Judge is like 0 for 4 with like 4 punch outs.
That's hard to do in itself too. Yeah. Oh my God, you're one of the very few that can say that.
But I think Guerrero would be the one person I dominate.
And you're one of the very few that can say that too. Not many can say that.
Don't quote me on that, but I don't know if he's ever gotten a hit against me.
That's something. That's crazy.
It's AA.
Yeah, if it is, it's probably in the minors. Probably.
I don't think Bichette has either.
That's crazy. Now, who would you like to face the most that you haven't yet? What hitter?
Trout.
Trout?
I faced him twice. He got a broken bat single, and then he popped up to me. But I want Trout. I want to face Ohtani, just because it's Ohtani. But I want to face Barry Bonds. Prime Barry Bonds.
What about Tatis?
Never faced Tatis. I'd like to face Tatis.
I bet you would.
I would. Who else was my favorite player growing up?
Well, yeah. And who was it?
Well, I got to face Pujols.
And how was that? What'd you get? He
had a ground roll double off of me.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Bet you would have liked to strike him out.
I would have. I had him 1-2. I'll never forget this. I had him 1-2, and I threw one up and in, and I felt bad for throwing it up and in because he's been my favorite player for 10 years. But
did you get
I threw a cutter down on the way, fouled it off, and then I threw a curveball, and he hit it down the left field line off the chalk.
Did you ever get to talk to him after that experience and be like...
I didn't. But I would love to, but I did.
He would have got a kick out of that one, probably.
Yeah, he would have.
Now, what about Machado? Have you had a chance to face him?
I've not faced many teams from the AL West or the NL West. I'm trying to think. I faced Chapman and Olsen from the A's. Haven't played the Diamondbacks yet, and I faced a bunch of the Angels in 2019 when I was with Boston, and I faced Seattle. Mm-hmm. And other than that, I haven't in Texas. I faced Texas too, so I never faced Gallo. So I haven't got to play with a lot of teams against in the AL or NL West.
Now, let me ask you, as a current pitcher, are they juicing the balls? Do you think? Is there much difference in the balls that you've seen?
I don't think they've changed.
You don't think so?
No.
They still feel the same?
Yeah.
What about in the minors?
There'll be some balls that'll have bigger laces on them, but I think they're pretty similar.
What about in the minors? Same thing?
The minor leagues in AAA did go to the big league balls.
Oh, they did?
That was in 2019, but I think, in my opinion, the balls aren't as juice in AAA as they were in the big leagues in 2019.
Now, if you ever did get to pitch in Colorado, how well do you think you would perform? I know that's a pitcher's nightmare.
I hope it's the best day I have in my career. I don't know. They say the ball doesn't spin the same. It doesn't do the same.
Yeah, I guess they humidify the balls before coming out, I guess. They actually humidify them.
I don't know. I don't know. I want to go pitch there. I just want to go be at that stadium. I want to pitch there.
What would you say was the most difficult ballpark to pitch in? That you've been in so far?
Camden Yards.
Really? That seems like a pitcher's friendly park.
It's not at all.
Except for left field, which I know. No, right field. Sure. Right field. Yeah. Right field. I meant.
The wind never blows in.
Is it because of the marine layer right there? Yeah, that you're next to.
It's gotta be. The wind never blows in.
That's crazy. I guess the same can be said for Petco too. Petco's the same way.
Yankee Stadium is small.
Yes, it is. Especially in right porch. The right porch.
I'm trying to think where else. Houston's not. Houston's just small to left.
Yeah, the Crawford boxes. Yeah, that'd be a pitcher's nightmare pitching there. For a righty, if you're hitting going against the right.
I would think Camden Yards is probably the smallest. The ball flies there, and you probably don't realize it. But now that I said that, you'll be like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, yeah, no, I'll have to pay attention to when the Rays ever go back there. Probably next year, because I think the season's over between.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it flies. It flies at Camden.
Would you say it flies more than? I know you've never been there. The Great American has a pitcher, but would you say it probably flies more than Great American?
No, I'm from Dayton. So I've been to Cincinnati 100 times.
Okay. So you've been... Okay.
No chance it flies more. I'm going to say it's Colorado and Cincinnati's next.
And do you think... I know you pitched in the Coliseum, obviously. Do you think the A's will ever get a new stadium? Because that's honestly a dump. People would say the Trop's a dump, which it kind of is. Even I say that because I've been to it. But would you say the Coliseum is definitely a dump?
I wouldn't necessarily say it's a dump. Neither would I say the Trop's a dump. It just needs updated. That's it.
Do you see the A's possibly moving to Vegas like that talk is?
I do. I don't think the Rays are in Tampa.
I know the owner wants them in Montreal.
I think they're going to go to Nashville.
Really? You think Nashville's going to get a team?
They need a team.
I never even heard that. That's a new talk. I never heard that one. Is that an actual rumor going on?
I've heard it is for an expansion team.
Wow, I've only heard Montreal, and that's from the owner's mouth that he wants to do half here and half in Montreal.
I've heard Nashville's a spot. The Oakland A's AAA was in Nashville.
Okay, okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay, I can see that. Yeah, because
But I think Oakland's going to go to Vegas if they move anywhere.
Of course, because I think that's where their old. No, that was.
The Mets.
Yeah.
The Mets were in Reno.
Yes, they were. Yeah. And they had a minor league team too in Las Vegas. I don't know if they still have them. The Area 51s.
They still have one, I believe. I think another reason. Well, Montreal could be a fit too for the Rays, but where's Montreal at considered to Toronto?
Honestly, I can't see that ever happening again because that fan base failed on them already. That's why they moved to Washington.
Yeah, and I think Nashville's just closer in the United. Not saying that Toronto Toronto's awesome. I love Toronto's field.
Mm-hmm.
But Nashville will have a huge fan base. They already got the Titans, who have a great fan base. They have the Predators, who are really good at hockey.
Mm-hmm.
Why not bring a big league baseball team in that city?
I didn't think it was that, but yeah, that'd be interesting. I mean, I would hate to see the Rays move,
Right.
but I mean, if any place, yeah, I could see that. Fan base is wild over the Titans. They're wild over the Predators.
Why not?
Why not?
In the big leagues?
Now, if you were pitching for the Orioles, who would you like to pitch for?
St. Louis.
Hometown team?
No, I'm from Cincinnati.
That's what I'm saying. Instead of the hometown team, you wouldn't want to pitch for them?
Oh, yeah, I've been a Cardinals fan. So this will be. I mean, I'm not now. If we're not in the playoffs, as of right now, we're not in the playoffs. I'm rooting for St. Louis because I've always been a fan. Yeah, I've been a fan for 15 years.
There you go. So, what are we looking forward to you in the upcoming season? What do we expect to see from you after you've done rehabbing and you come back?
My goal is to be an all-star.
Perfect. Couldn't have said anything better. That's
Whether
what I
I'm
like
a
to
starter
hear.
or a reliever, my goal is to be an all-star.
Do we hope to see you up on an everyday basis?
Yep.
Because I
I'll
think
be healthy. I'll be ready to roll.
I think that's where you were going this year until that unfortunately happened to you.
Yep. Is what it is. It's a game of baseball.
It is. Have you ever gone through an injury like this before?
I've had the same injury twice.
Oof. And how
2016 and 2017, back-to-back years.
And since you are getting older, how hard is it to come back from it?
I think I'm physically a lot more stronger and mentally a lot more stronger. So I think this has definitely been the easiest mindset-wise coming back from it. I'm already completely healthy.
There you go.
So obviously I'm done for the season, so there's no reason to throw.
I don't blame you. I wouldn't either. I would wait till the off season.
I start lifting weights next week. So on the road to the process and on to the off season.
Now, before I let you go, who would you like the Orioles to get if they do decide to go in free agency or whatever trade? Who would you like them to possibly get? Just throw a name, any names out there.
Pujols.
Pujols?
He'll be a free agent next year.
That is true, and you get to possibly talk. You get to possibly talk to him and talk about that hit.
And we got a DH spot.
Yeah, you got the DH spot. Yeah.
Yeah. To me, that would be awesome if I got to play with him, but it doesn't matter to me. If they're going to go compete and try to win and do their best every day, it don't matter.
Couldn't have said it any better. But I know there's got to be at least one other player that's still around that you would like to play for that you watched growing up. Now, who is it besides Pujols? There's got to be one other one.
Well, you're putting me on the spot here. I don't know. I know Miggy's not going anywhere.
No, he's not. Nope.
I'm trying to think who's going to be a free agent next year. Scherzer's not going.
Nope. Scherzer's probably going to stay with, L.A.
Is he a free agent though?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is, yes. That's why they got rid of him.
Bring him on over.
Nice.
You can bring him on over too. I'm sure I can learn a lot from him.
Well, I bet you could. Is that who you would like to learn from?
I mean, he's the best in the game,
No. Five.
in my opinion.
Done.
Over Verlander?
No.
Yeah, and DeGrom.
Over Thor?
Yep.
Okay.
No bites.
I could see that.
I like his attitude. I like the way he goes about his business.
No bites.
He's high intensity.
What
And I know one thing for sure.
old school pitcher
He'll fight you before he loses.
What old school pitcher do you think he reminds you of?
Nolan Ryan.
I could see that. A gamer doesn't want to give up the ball.
He's gonna fight you before he loses.
Another name we're forgetting about too is Bauer.
Yeah. Not a fan.
I'm not a fan either, but I mean, you can't deny his talent.
You might be able to.
Now, last question before I let you go. I say this to everybody. It's early, of course. The postseason's not here yet. Who you got winning it all this year, and how many games?
Dodgers in 6.
Dodgers in 6?
Yep.
Who do you see him going against?
The White Sox.
Okay.
I think I got the starting staff to do it. That lineup's pretty good. They're young, but they got some masters in there. If Eloy can stay, Luis can stay healthy. Obviously, you got Jose Abreu, who's very good. I got to play with Mancada with Boston. He's very good.
Over the Rays, you don't see them possibly sneaking out another World Series berth?
I think it's going to be Toronto or the White Sox.
Now, Toronto.
The Rays are going to win the division, but man, Toronto, I don't know if anybody in the league can hit with Toronto.
Nobody's picking Toronto. That's a sleeper team, and they're not picking Chicago either.
That's why I like them. Nobody else is picking them.
Nope. Well, what about NL? Who would you pick from the NL besides the Dodgers then that nobody's picking? Nobody's obviously picking the Dodgers. I mean, anybody other than Dodgers.
Nobody.
Really? You don't see nobody competing with them?
No. That pitching staff is too good. Way too good. If I had to pick, it would be Milwaukee.
Well, yeah, their lineup, maybe. Milwaukee's lineup.
They don't have the pitching to go against. They don't have the pitching to go against the Dodgers for 7 games.
That is true.
You got to face Scherzer twice. If you go 7 games, you got to face Scherzer twice, and you got to face Buehler twice.
That's true. And
that's 4 wins in itself.
Don't forget about Kershaw too, if he's healthy.
You got a healthy Kershaw, then you got Urias.
Yeah.
You got a healthy squad, and that lineup ain't no joke either. With Mookie, Seager, Bellinger's having a down year, but he can turn on at any time. Chris Taylor, Muncy, Turner.
Yeah, right. You can't. Yeah, that's right. You can't forget about that lineup. Yeah, that's the main thing. But what ultimately do you think wins a World Series, though? Is it offense, pitching, what?
It's both. You know, it's a team thing. Pitching, obviously, your defense is obviously a massive thing in it. But you got to score to win.
That's true.
You got to score to win. You can put up as many zeros as you want on the defensive side, but if you don't score, guess what? You're just going to have to keep putting up zeros.
Very true. But awesome. Thank you. It was awesome. I thought I did good for the first time.
Absolutely. You did great.
First time active player. I can't wait. If you know anybody, please send them my way. I'm looking.
I will.
Please. I appreciate it if you can do that. I will send you once this is done. If you want to see the YouTube, I'll send you
Absolutely.
that. And then also I will send you the podcast as well after it's set and done. But
Perfect.
thank you. It was fun.
Yeah,
Stay safe. Stay safe. Looking forward to seeing you next year.
Absolutely. I appreciate it.
And come back on as many times as you want. I got your contact. I'd appreciate
Let me
it.
know. Just let me know.
Will do. All right, man. Have a good night. Be safe.
You too.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
So this concludes episode number 47 with Travis Lakins of the Baltimore Orioles. Hoping to have more active soon, but I thought I did good for the first time having an active person on. So you all have a good night. Stay safe.